Peace and love, fam. Welcome to the channel. It's your boy Monte. You know who I am. You know what I do. You know how I get down. Welcome to the building. In the chat section, guys, you'll see I have a number of things that I'm gonna touch on real quick. Also, I have a link to my products so that you don't have to go anywhere but here to drop into that link. And again, I have my emails down there as well. The two emails that I utilize the most, two emails that you can get in contact with me, and the one email that you can actually order the products. All right. When you come into the house, make sure you give a thumbs up. Make sure you give a shout out to where it is that you're at if you're new to the channel. All right, guys, let's get right into what it is we want to talk about. Again, those who come up into the building, they'll be able to see what is going on with the in the chat, because I have a list of about, I think, 8 or 9 things that I'm gonna touch on real quick. Then I'm gonna get in and get out of here. All right. So basically, guys, we want to deal with human behavior today. Many of us are really confused as to what is natural when it comes to the human behavior and what really affects human behavior. Like, the environment doesn't get enough of credit when it comes to its impact on human behavior. And when we're talking about the environment, we're talking about the home, the primary environment, the community, the secondary environment, the state in which they live in, the third, and the nation, which is the overlapping, overarching constant, which is called environment, guys. We're dealing with the social environment when we're dealing with that, but also the natural environment has a big impact on behavior. And many of us, again, we fail to realize and understand what it is that is causing us to behave in certain ways. And when it comes to the youth, what is causing the youth to behave in certain ways. You understand what I'm saying? These things need to be understood, and therefore our understanding of these things will give us a better grip on understanding why things are as they are. And you can base these things, and you can expect a certain type of behavior coming out of a certain type of an environment. Me and you guys don't want to use stereotypes, etc., but some stereotypes are actually actual because of the environment which that type of behavior and stereotype tends to come out of, because the environment produces that type of behavior more so than it produces another type of behavior. You understand what I'm saying? So again, guys, yes, the home is very important when it comes to the raising of the child, no doubt about it. But not only the home, the environment, the community in which we are living in plays a big role in what it is that we're going to become and how we're going to process the world that we live in. That's why it's so detrimental in the inner cities this day and time. What's up, Ann? I see you. What's up, No Weapon? Big shout out to you two ladies. Thanks for coming into the building. Again, you'll see a list of the things that we're talking about. I'm talking about human behavior right now, what we need to understand. And again, guys, and many of you guys probably already understand this, but at the end of the day, if the home environment, let's say the home environment is a good environment, but the home environment is trapped in a community that is besieged with poverty, violence, and all other sorts of things that are not conducive to a better life, to a life of peace, to a life of harmony. The home life can be great, but the chances are the children being raised in that environment, the community, is going to be detrimental to that child's growth. That child is going to have to deal with things that another child would not have to deal with, born in a different community with the same home principles, but the community doesn't have the violence, the poverty, and all that other extracurricular stuff going on. You know what I mean? So in order to really be able to prosper, we need all these things to work in line if we're going to develop mature, well-balanced, mentally emotional kids. If not, we'll continue to have the things that we are having, and therefore the situation will continue to be what it is. It's not going to change, guys. This idea that getting tough on crime, etc., changes the behavior of people. Obviously, that doesn't work. They've been tough on crime forever, and the behavior has gotten any better because of the community environment, because of the poverty, and because of the behavior that comes with poverty, violence, etc. When you're living in a capitalistic society, and when you're living in particularly an inner city environment where a ton of poor people are living on top of each other. That is a recipe for self-destruction and continuing violence and continuing despair amongst the people. And you'll continue to produce individuals that will repeat this cycle if you can't break out of that environment. Also, the state plays a big role. When I say the state, depending on the states that you're living in, these things play a major factor. That's the third component of the environment when it comes to human behavior. The first component is the home. The second component is the community. And that third component is the state. So again, the state upon which you live in does have an effect on how you process and see the world as well. And in those states, if you have a state that is more progressive, a state that has a limited amount of overt racism or political racism, etc., economic racism or discriminatory practices, then you're going to have a community, a state in which you will be able to prosper a lot more than if you live in a state where those things are still heavily imprinted across the government, etc. So, and above that, the fourth component is going to be the nation, guys. When you're dealing with the nation, you're going to deal with all those things that we deal with on a national level that indeed have an enormous impact on our ability to do certain things and on our ability to really prosper. You know what I mean? Now, on that point right there, guys, many of you, or if you don't know, I don't vote, guys. You know what I mean? I have 3 criteria in which I will vote, maybe 2. The number 1 criterion is this: if the politician is actively pursuing reparations for the descendants of slaves, then I would consider voting for that politician. If that politician doesn't have that on their agenda, I would not vote for him, period. I don't care who he is, what he's doing, who she is, and what else she's doing. If they can't recognize that the African American, the descendant of slaves, needs reparation for the evil that was done to the ancestors, not just the ancient ancestors who was in bondage in the chattel slavery, but also my mother, my grandfather who endured Jim Crowism, who were made to go and sit up in the balcony, who didn't have equal access to jobs, etc. Also, my father, who I didn't know, who actually got drafted into the Vietnam War at a time when you were still being discriminated as second class or no class citizen, yet forced to go fight in a war that for a country that didn't recognize your humanity. That in and of itself needs to be repaired. That in and of itself, I believe, had a big role on my father's absenteeism from my life due to the trauma that he suffered in Vietnam. I don't know this to be a fact because I never had a chance to sit down and talk to my father. I remember seeing him 2 times that I can remember. My mom said I saw him more. I remember one time when I was young that I saw him, and then the next time I saw him, he was in that casket, and I didn't even really recognize him. He looked like me, but I had no emotional feelings, no emotional attachment to my father, but I didn't hate my father, and I didn't never hated my father, which is a good thing, even though he wasn't there. So that was a beautiful thing that was with me. But now that I have a better understanding, I'm glad that I never, even in my misunderstanding, never took on the idea that I could hate my father. So now that I understand better and understand the likelihood of why he wasn't present, this doesn't give him an excuse for not being present, but this gives some reasoning to what it is that he may have endured. You know what I mean? What's up, Jen? What's up, Fifi? What's up, Kate? So I'm just rambling along like I usually do, guys. You know, I like to talk. Obviously, I stay on these lives. But again, guys, we're dealing with human behavior, guys. To understand the human behavior and understand why behavior is tied to environment, not only the social environment, but also the actual environment as far as the weather and those things are concerned. These things all have a profound effect on the body, have a profound effect on the mind. So we have to be aware of those things and make sure that we understand those things, guys. Things don't just happen in a vacuum. So this is what I'm getting at. So again, guys, I broke down real quick why I would not be voting. And again, a lot of you guys will never understand it. And I understand that, but don't come at me telling me that my ancestors died for me to vote and expect for me to vote for people who still don't stand for the rights and the true rights of the people that the ancestors died for. I can't get with that. Y'all can vote. I'm not telling you not to vote, but again, Monte would not be voting unless on the number one thing is if that individual is in pursuit of reparations for the African Americans. That's as simple as it is for me when it comes to vote. If they don't have that as their top priority, the other stuff I can deal with. I won't be voting for them. I can deal with whoever is in the office, whether it's open, overt racist individual or the covert racist individuals, black or white, because you have black racists against their own race as well. Many of us don't want to acknowledge that, but that's a fact. Oh, ain't no doubt about that, Jen. Parasites, all those things. The nutrition is probably the most impactful thing on the body, period. Matter of fact, let me restate that nutrition is the most impactful thing on the body, period. And consuming heavy metals, consuming mucus inducing foods, consuming things that are parasitic, such as the meat that many of us love, and all those other toxins that ill affect. No, I don't love the meat because I don't eat the meat, but many of those things have an ill effect on the mental status of us. And therefore, you're seeing an explosion in mental health, guys. It's not just because it's being recognized and people are coming out of the thing. That too is a big factor. But actually, individuals are actually becoming mentally ill because of what it is that we are consuming, as well as what it is that we are putting on our skin, the medications that we're taking, and the toxins and the environmental poisons that we are inhaling from the air that we breathe on a daily basis. The body is under attack, guys, so we got to recognize that. What's up, Charlie? I see you in the house. Let me give a shout out to some of the people who just came in. Again, guys, I got a list of things that I'm talking about at the top, about 8 or 9 things that I'm going to touch on, hopefully. And then if you guys have anything you need to chime in, please do so. You know what I mean? So, all right, Janelle, Fifi, Lynette. What's up, Lynette? I see you. Irma, what's up, Irma? I see you. Yeah, I understand your position, Irma. They did fight for the right to vote. But again, I'm my own man, and I would not vote just because individuals who came before me fought for the vote, yet the individuals at this day and time are still not bringing forth an agenda that is recognizing the evil done to those, not only those who voted, but way before and for the 400 years we've been here. So I cannot be a part of that foolishness if that individual doesn't meet that number one criteria for me. Voting is not a collective mindset, in my opinion. Voting is an individual mindset, and if that individual see or have particular things that they want to see done, and no candidate on the ballot, on any ballot, represents that, I will not give them my energy to vote, period. Because again, they're not recognizing what is obvious. Anytime you have to convince somebody of that which is obvious, then that is crazy. I waste no time trying to convince somebody of that which is obvious. That's my approach. It's obvious that anybody who's not mentally blind can see that what has been done to the African American throughout the years has had a detrimental effect on the African American's ability to be full and whole mentally and emotionally. And we're not just talking about the 1960s and back. In 1980s, I got caught up. Now, I was guilty, so I'm not saying I wasn't. I got caught up in the drug trade. I ended up doing time in prisons because of the selling of drugs. Drugs literally took my brother's life. It didn't kill him, but it gave him 21 years because he got addicted to drugs. Now, those drugs didn't just happen to land in our community. Those drugs just didn't happen to land in America. The government had an active part of allowing drugs to enter into the inner city in order for this government, the 1980s government, the Reagan government, in order for them to pursue a war in Nicaragua. You understand what I'm saying? This is documented. This has come out in the book. The guy, Gary Webb from the San Francisco Chronicle, I believe somehow he mysteriously died, but he had a book called Dark Alliance. I have that book somewhere in here, and it detailed everything that went on and the declassification of information that they let out during the time of those trials in the 90s showed that the government was implicit in allowing drugs, not only drugs, but guns into South Central LA, and where crack epidemic exploded. So again, you don't have to go back to slavery to see that certain aspects of this government has been adversarial to us from day one. So this thing is real, no doubt about it. So again, guys, when you try to come at me with simplistic types of statements, our ancestors died for me to vote, etc., you got to be a little bit more complex and nuanced with that and understand why I am not going to vote if that individual doesn't meet one particular criteria. And again, yes, it's one, because that is the most important one for me, individually speaking. Because if you won't even recognize what it is that you have done or those before you have done, and not just in a lifetime before me, I'm saying in my lifetime. Again, I got involved in the same drugs that the government allowed into the inner cities in order to fund a war across in the I think it was in Central America. You understand what I'm saying? So when you understand these things, there's no way that you're gonna go about and just allow those things just to be and just go with simplistic type of group think to just vote. Again, I'm not telling you guys not to vote. I'm telling you why I don't vote. We'll move on from that, guys. Let me read some of these things over here real quick. All right. Somebody said, yes, sounds like South Carolina, separate but not equal. Yeah, no doubt about it. It's been like that forever. And again, now let's go get it twisted, guys. I'm not that individual that is anti-white or anti-government or anything like that. I'm anti-hypocrisy. So I deal with people based off their character. I understand our unique history as African Americans, but I don't deal with you simply because you're African American and then allow that to be the sole purpose of me accepting you, etc. I understand you greatly, but again, if you don't understand yourself and understand your situation, you as more a detriment to me as I am to you when I was in that ignorant state of being. Because again, the majority of the drugs that I sold was to my own people. So I really exploited them, exploited their weakness, helped them to become a destructive force in the community. And I took away from their family, their kids, and themselves. Whether they was going to be on drugs without me selling them or not, I still in put myself in that equation. So I'm guilty of that. But the government is guilty for allowing that to exist and then giving it an opportunity to exist in our community. All right, I'm done with that now, guys. Let's move on. All right. Yep. So Jen L says parasites have a huge impact on our mental health, no doubt about it. And what's up, Tammy? See you in the house. What's up, Armor? See you in the house. Simply Natural. What's going on with you? Charlie, what's up, Charlie? Somebody else, I don't know if you were, Jen, I don't know if you was telling me about having Sharon investigate the coffee enemas. I haven't really investigated them, but I think I gave Sharon some information on that. I don't remember if that was you or not, Jen, but it probably was because not too many people have mentioned that. You know what I mean? So. I'm not Monte. Hey, look, Fifi, I am not Monte X. All right. Trust me, I'm not that. Again, guys, I'm not that individual who again ties into, let me state this, let me make sure I'm stating this clear, that I deal with individuals based off the character, not based off the skin. No doubt about it, period. No matter who they are. I understand the differences that are innate in us as being uniquely African Americans and our unique history as descendants of slaves. I understand the European American as being unique descendants of slave masters, those who were not in those who did not just voluntarily come over here after slavery was done. So again, I don't deal with individuals based off the color of their skin, even though I understand the difference between us and others as it relates to our unique situation here on this planet, here in the United States of America, and the history in the last 1,000 years of the European dominance. So I get that, guys. So don't get caught up and think that I'm anti this, anti that. I'm anti foolishness and I'm anti that conformity, and I'm anti just going along to get along and following tradition that no longer fits the equation for what it is that we need in this day and time. You know what I mean? That's how I get down. All right. So don't get it twisted, guys. I'm not that individual. I'm not. I love Dr. Boyce Watkins, but I'm not Dr. Boyce Watkins when it comes to he just he pretty much he wants to deal with black people and nothing else when it comes to what it is that he is producing, etc. I'm not that individual. I want to deal with whoever want to deal with me on a fair basis and make things happen and be respectful of each other as individuals. You understand what I'm saying? Because for me, very few individuals are going to be able to be exclusively black in their operations and dealing with things in this society, because we don't own those things that are necessary for the survival of the being, as far as the power companies, the water companies, and even the grocery stores, the banks to a certain extent, etc. All right. Again, guys, we got a lot of good information popping up in the thing. Yeah, I told Sharon about the coffee enemas, Janelle, but Sharon does her own thing, guys. And again, Sharon told me I talk too much, so I don't discuss her situation anymore. But Sharon does her own thing, guys, and I share information. And if she take the information and work with it, then I would definitely I share those things, but I don't force anything on anybody. Yeah, yeah, drugs are definitely a problem. Yeah, Irma asks, what about Cory Booker? Do your research on Cory Booker, Irma. Again, I don't do black people just because they black. Let me make that clear again, guys. One more time, one more time, one more time. I don't do individuals just because they black. Cory Booker, you need to do your research a little bit deeper on Cory Booker and find out who and exactly what was funding Cory Booker when he was running before he became senator. I think he was senator. He may be a governor or maybe whatever high position that he's running in. You got to find out who funded these individuals. What companies were really behind. You have a lot of individuals who are Democrats who was actually funded by white right-wing organizations and foundations. You guys got to look into that. You really don't understand these type of things, and you really just think because the people get up there and they black that there's somebody that you should vote for. I'd never be that simple in how I see things. I know better than that all day, every day. So my take on Cory Booker, I don't trust him because of what I've learned from him and from what has been put out as far as who was his don't or who was in his whose pockets he was in as far as those people who was funding him when he was coming up throughout the ranks. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I don't deal with Cory Booker. You understand what I'm saying? Because of what it is that I've come to understand. Now, if someone can come and show me that what it is that I come to understand and what I saw about who funded him coming in, coming up way before this right here, then I will change my position. But from what it is that I know, what's up, Beverly Ann? From what it is I know, I can't deal with them on that level. No doubt about it. You feel what I'm saying? No doubt about it. Yeah. What's up? Beverly's in the house. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. I'm looking through. I'm doing a lot of talking, yapping at the mouth. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's my take on Cory Booker, Irma. I think we get tied up, Irma. You know what I mean? This is my opinion. We get tied up on the black face. You know what I mean? And again, I deal with people based off their character. If I dealt with only black people, I wouldn't even have nowhere to live at this point in time when it comes to my business. I've had virtually, I'm not talking about my new business as far as the hemp products. I'm talking about my business as far as the exercise and fitness is concerned. I've had little to no support on that for the past 10 years. Little to no support as my client. So again, I'm not caught up on that because I know the reality of what I live. You know what I mean? And I have many friends who work out, who have trainers, etc., or associates, and I'm not their trainer. I ain't telling you that they got to train with me, but what I am telling you is I recognize how individuals operate. So I'll never be that individual. All right, we had something else I wanted to talk about. Let's move on. I'm gonna read one more thing, guys, and then we're gonna move on. Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm speaking positive and then doing things that are positive. Uh, is totally different when these individuals get into the office. Barack Obama is a great man. I love Barack Obama, but again, he didn't do the things that he said he would do initially. What really turned me off, as far as getting those individuals who caused the crash in 2008 or whatever I think it was. He said if he get in office, those individuals who caused the crash would be held accountable and they would be doing some time. Not one individuals who were cited as being primary people in the cause of that crash did a lick of time. He came back with another explanation explaining that thing away. Don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. That's not the only thing I didn't agree with. But right off top, you can't believe everything that somebody say they try to get who's trying to get into office. And besides, they're politicians. And unfortunately, politicians, they have to play games, most of them, if they're going to get elected, because they know you guys love games. They love you. They know that you love to hear them say something positive. They know that you love to hear them try to incite people. You know what I mean? In a certain direction. Besides Donald Trump keep it 100. He keeps it 100. He's a maniac, and he keep it maniacal. if that's a word. The rest of them, they lie to you, and then they go behind your back and do policies that come out and bite you in the butt. Yeah, we always make that mistake. We always make those type of statements that individuals do the best they can do under the circumstances they are in. I agree. He did the best that he could do in the things that he really wanted to do them in. If he wanted to lock those individuals up, like he said, because they did violate and they did commit criminal behavior, he could have did it. He chose not to do that. So that wasn't doing the best he could do because he was hindered by certain circumstances. He chose not to do it for other reasons. So I get tired of hearing that. They make it hard on everybody. We always make these excuses, though, Tammy. You got to be a little bit more. What's up, Stephanie? We got to be a little bit more sophisticated than always making excuses. We think because an individual gets into the office and he's black, that his agenda is going to be specifically something that is going to benefit us. What did he do specifically for black people that benefited black people? In that sense, because you guys are so connected to the skin of the individual that was in the office. What did he specifically do that benefited black people? He did specific things for specific communities. The LGBTQ community, he really passed things that really pushed them forward. What did he do specifically for the black people? You know what I'm saying? No, here we go. It always Democrats and Republicans. I'm telling you, I just don't fall for that, guys. So we're gonna move beyond that because we're gonna stay in that position. I don't do the Democrat and I don't do the Republican because they are all part of the same system that has not changed the financial condition of the poor people of this nation for the last 40 years. So all you need to do is look at the financial situation of poor people from the 1970s until now, Democrat or Republican administration, and you tell me the big difference when it comes to the financial impact on those individuals. You understand what I'm saying? More homeless people today than there ever was. And this wasn't a trend that wasn't escalating during the Obama administration. It was escalating at the same time he was in office, as well as the same time George W. Bush was in office, as well as the same time that President Clinton was in office, and as well as the same time that Donald Trump is in office right now. People are homeless on the streets of America, and not all of them just put themselves out there and just lazy and just X, Y, and Z. There are a lot of things that have stayed consistent when it comes to that right there. So I don't deal with the color of the skin. I don't deal with the Democrat or the Republican. I deal with policies. I deal with what is actually happening when it comes to the financial stability of individuals in this country. And I challenge you to go back those 40 years and see with each administration, Democrat and Republican, see how poverty levels have changed, if they have changed at all. And that's where I come from with it. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how I keep it. Yes. Now look, let's not get it twisted. Because I disagree with one thing or two or three or maybe 10 things with Obama or more, doesn't mean that I disagree with everything that Obama did. Of course, the Medicaid, the healthcare thing has provided individuals with health. That was a good thing, but that wasn't just a black thing. It's probably we're the smallest percentage. I think we're one of the smaller percentage of people in this country. So many individuals. There are many more white people that are poor as far as numbers are concerned than there are black people. So that benefited the whole. I'm talking about specific issues that was dealing with black people when it came to Obama, because most black people are just so tied up on Obama because he was black. And I'm not saying that he wasn't a good individual, because I liked him as well as an individual, but I didn't agree with his policies. On the whole, I didn't disagree with everything either. All right, so we'll look over here. Yeah, Stephanie, I have a ton of things that I wanted to talk about. At the top of the chat, I have like 8 things that I listed that I wanted to talk about. So you can go in and you can check that out to see what it is that we're talking about. Yeah, no doubt about it. So now don't worry about the misspelling. Yeah, I don't make it a black thing. Most individuals do. That's what I'm saying. I mean, most individuals will never say anything that they disagree with Obama because he was black. I understand. Or matter of fact, like I say, he recognized himself as black, but that's even a thing in and of itself. He's a mixed individual. His mama was white, his daddy was black. So why would we have to distinguish him as being black? Because of the system that we live in. You understand what I'm saying? So you identify as one or the other instead of embracing both halves of his equation, of his chromosomal makeup. So again, that's a problem in and of itself. All right, believe that very few African Americans are on the move. All you have to do is go and look at the statistics, and you bring me back the statistics of African American poverty in 2019 and African American poverty in 1970, and then you can convince me that African Americans are on the move. You have a select few of individuals of the whole who are making moves, no doubt about it. But as a whole, individuals in this country, especially African Americans, are at the bottom, will remain at the bottom until they get out of this collective mindset that political individuals, just because they're black, getting in office is going to do something to change their livelihood. A few things may be done to help the whole, but nothing specifically is coming to you as a black American. So you got to get out of this mindset that I'm gonna vote for a person because they're black. This is what I'm saying. I can't get down with that. What's up, Alicia? But I ain't telling you not to vote. But again, you want to take, I hate when individuals take half of the equation. You take the ones that are making a little bit more money. That's a beautiful thing. But again, I want to look at the whole for a sustained period of time and tell me where the poverty has changed over those 50 years coming up. You show me that, and you show me in the Democratic administrations that the poverty level has dropped, and then in the Republican it soars, and you can show me a pattern of that over these last 50 years, then I reconsider what it is that I think. But what I'm telling you is you ain't gonna be able to show me that. So again, I don't buy into this Democratic Republican bull jive. It doesn't work. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's everybody's time, huh? Ain't no doubt about it. Like I said, and it won't change again until the changing of a mindset, into an understanding of what it is that you're actually dealing with. Like I said, the inner cities. I'm from a small city, and the project that I grew up in is worse now than it was when I was growing up in it. And we grew up in it again during the hailstorm of the 80s when the crack epidemic exploded. I mean, and we had people living like true live zombies because I was out there with them, selling them that stuff, helping them to become weakened. We out all night, every night, and people just selling drugs and people just taking drugs. Now it's even worse in that community. And it's 20-something, 8 years later. So again, I can't buy this collective movement that we are doing better. A few are doing better, which is great. But the majority of individuals, and this is not just black people, white people, Poverty is a detrimental state to be in, no matter who and what you are. The environment that you are brought up in that poverty, i.e., the inner cities where people are piled on top of each other, just escalates the despair that is the poverty. That's the issue. Poverty is a destructive force. How do you change poverty? That's the key. You understand what I'm saying? And politicians, big business, and other things have no real desire to change poverty because it doesn't really affect them. They are immune to it. It doesn't affect their immediate families. So therefore, their drive to end poverty is not a drive that is authentic. We've been on this too long, guys. We've been on this too long. Can I move on, please? And Annette, what's up, Annette? Annette is in the house. If I miss you coming in the house, again, give a big shout out. So let's move on, guys. Let's talk about. I'm about to move back to the top, guys. I had a few things I wanted to talk about. Share with you some information on some things. We're talking about mood too, guys. I wanted to talk about the mood and some things that individuals have accepted, particularly ladies, that certain things that is happening not only with the mood, but with the experiences for those who are still dealing with the PMS and all that type of stuff, as if these things are natural to the body. These things are not naturally or innate in the female physiology that that should be. And we take that menopause is something that, and we talked about this before, menopause is something that is inevitable, and it's something that is naturally part of the female's evolution as she ages. These things are not true. I cannot see, and I'm gonna deal with those who are believers of a God, a creator. Again, I don't do the religion, guys, but I can't see how the creator would allow this process to be a part of the innate evolved evolution of the woman, where she has to deal with painful, debilitating periods, where she has to then, after she moved from that point, deal with debilitating hot flashes due to menopause, etc. These things are a result of what it is that we have been exposed through our food, through the environment, again, with the toxins that are in the environment, and also through a number of other things that we are allowing our bodies to be exposed to. A lot of the endocrine disrupting chemicals in the plastics, in the medications, and the lack of awareness of our mothers and fathers when we are children, feeding us things that are not natural to that human physiology in its early stages. And again, for those of us who were not breastfed, our body is at a deficient state from day one, because for the first up to 2 years, and even longer if you want, the food for that baby should be the milk of the mothers. Sometimes this is not able to be accomplished, but it does make a big deal. So again, guys, don't think that just because you're heading into menopause that hot flashes, etc., is something that is naturally going to happen to you because it's innately a part of your evolution. It's going to happen to you because you have engaged in certain behaviors when it comes to nutrition, when it comes to what you're putting on your skin, the chemicals, what you're putting in your body through the liquids, what you're taking as medication, and what you've been exposed to overall in this environment. This is why you're going to experience those type of things. This is not a natural evolution of the woman. For those of us who simply take these things and believe as if this is something, or this some type of punishment from the God to the woman, that's absolutely foolish. I could never buy that. How could a God that's supposed to be merciful, etc., allow a woman to have to go through these things, and then allow that woman, because she can't deal with the pain and the heat, to engage in other things that only tear her physiology down even more? You understand what I'm saying? So again, this is not something that is a natural evolution of the woman. So again, no, I'm not a woman, but I'm smart enough to know that these things make absolutely no sense when it comes to when you examine that from a more mature point of view. You know what I mean? So that's something that I wanted to talk about as well. Also, let's deal with how to exercise, guys. Those of you who are not exercising, you really want to start exercising, even if it's just walking. The benefits of exercising is great, guys. Now, again, nothing is more important than your nutrition, but the benefits of exercise is something that is great and something that all of us should engage in. You understand what I'm saying? And me personally, I train individuals, but due to a lot of my health issues, I haven't been consistent and being able to train and do things exercise related for a long time. And this is not a good look for me as well, as I try to get myself better. All right. We're gonna deal with some things dealing with the herbs, guys. We're gonna deal with some herbs that are great for mood. And of course, the CBD oils are great. Those things that are authentic. Yeah, that's good, Irma. The gym is a beautiful thing. Definitely, if you can do it. Many of you guys may be dealing with arthritic pain and other things that really limit your ability to do exercise, etc. But if you can find a way to do something, it's best that you find a way to do something. Yeah, so definitely, that's definitely something that we should consider, guys. So here are 5 herbs that I've ran across that are said to really help with boosting the mood of individuals. That ashwagandha, I haven't had that herb, but I hear a lot of great things about the herb, and I think I need to go ahead and invest in it. That St. John's wort, the lemon balm, and it says the rose and the dahlia, and I'm sure there's many more. And besides those things, of course, the CBD oil, the hemp extract is going to be a powerful, has a powerful usage when it comes to helping out with the mood and everything like that. And again, a lot of individuals believe that the woman is innately moody and emotional when it comes to certain things. This is not true either. That's why I'm saying, guys, we got to dispel, excuse me, we have to dispel some of this stuff that we've accepted. You know what I mean? We have to dispel those things. Those things are not natural. Excuse me again. Those things are not natural. They are not necessarily a part of our growth and evolution. So stop accepting these things, guys. Again, learn your body, learn the herbs, learn the foods, learn the practices that you can take into account and utilize to help you move forward and age gracefully, guys. And again, with that being the case, I'm about to get out of here. We want to talk one more time about the skincare products that I have. I got the hemp skincare products. I got the link up top, guys. For those of you who haven't seen those videos, for those of you who may want to purchase that product, be sure to look at the link and you'll see the video, you'll see the prices, and you'll see how to contact me and pay for it through PayPal. All right. Also, understand that it's not just the hemp skincare products that I'm utilizing in order to get this glow on my skin. It's the combination of several things, and I'm going to be putting together a whole skincare and internal care package of things and actual protocol that I'm gonna have and be offering to you guys to help you guys stay looking young. You know what I mean? We want to age gracefully, guys, and I'm very proud of what it is that this has been able to do with my skin. All right, guys. All right, guys. You have a great. I hear you, Yeah, Dr. Oz. I don't watch him, but I'm pretty sure he has some great information. The only thing I have with individuals who are in the forefront of these things who are on mainstream television, etc., if any of those individuals are telling you that you have to consume meat in order to be healthy, they're dead wrong. And I can put my argument up against anybody on any day when it comes to that. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm telling you that you shouldn't eat meat. What I'm telling you is for you to think that meat is essential for this physiology, you are dead wrong. You are blind in the fact of the physiology and what is natural to the physiology. And I could break that down at any time, and I battle anybody when it comes to the essential need of meat as it is stated to be essential for the body. I disagree 100% with that. Now, those of you who eat meat, not bashing, you continue to do what it is that you do, but understand that it's not natural for the physiology, not necessary for the physiology, etc. All right, guys, I got to get up out here. I've been here too long anyway. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for all the feedback. Again, if you vote, that's your thing. I have no problem with you voting. But at the end of the day, you're not going to convince me to vote or try to shame me into voting or guilt me into voting when it comes to my ancestors dying. You say that argument for somebody else, because Monte will not fall for that argument, not this day, not tomorrow, not any day of his life. That's my approach to this. And I'm not doing it out of defiance or to be in a combative position against you. I explained to you clearly why it is that I would not be voting. All right. So I'm sending you peace and love, guys. You have a beautiful day. Peace. If I didn't get your if I didn't answer your questions or I didn't state or mention what it is that you were talking about in the feed, guys, be sure to just leave it in the replay, guys, and we'll answer it and we'll talk about it. You guys have a beautiful day. Peace.